Good evening, Professor and dear colleagues. The huge problem I'm going to talk about is in Laureano Gomez School in primary section afternoon shift. And I said a huge problem because in fact children here don't have a real access to even to the minimum aspects of technology. So less they are going to have blended learning or online learning. Unfortunately, the contents of the computer science lessons are focused on very basic concepts like parts of the computer and just some basic softwares like Word and PowerPoint, no more. I understand up to this point, I understand that some of the reasons of these problems are basically on educational policies, because as I mentioned before, there is just 1 hour lesson per week, and even in fact it would be just half an hour, because in these computer science lessons they see 1 hour of computers itself and 1 hour of technology. Well, on the other hand, the equipments are not the best quality, and as we know, in public schools the number of students are about 40. Maybe according to Graham, this has to do with the budgets, because maybe if we would like to have more hours lesson per week, we would need more teachers, and it would imply more investment. Also, regarding the equipment, I consider most of the computers that the public schools have are the equipments that some enterprises leave, so they don't have the best quality. They are not the most updated. Well, regarding solution for this problem, and taking into account some of the literature, I consider that teachers wouldn't underestimate children, and that as Brunner says in Daniel's article, we would promote the culture of education involving agency, reflection, collaboration, and culture. In this way, we could work collaboratively among teachers, so that computer science lesson doesn't develop itself and only for the lesson itself, but it is connected to other subjects. Well, in this case, with English. So, for example, computer science teacher could guide learners to open mail accounts in a way that the other subject teachers can send messages to students reminding, for example, tasks. Through those mails, they could have access in a better way to the different links, because teachers could send students websites. And other possibility would be that in the computer science lesson, students are taught how to handle tools for presentations like PowerPoint and Prezi, but the idea would be that the learners have to use those tools to make presentations for other subjects. In this way, again, I want to mention here Brunner, cited in Daniel, because the concept that he refers as agency, I relate it as autonomy. So in this way, with this solution that I'm suggesting here, learners would be guided towards autonomy in the sense that they would have to take the knowledge given in the computer science lesson as a tool, as a means to develop knowledge in other subjects. Well, after having read some further literature, I consider that it is not only education policies. Well, if it's true that we have the problem since the law, since the head of the education, I consider that teachers and parents who are closer to children must take decisions, and we can follow that culture of education described by Brunner. So obviously we need training. Teachers and parents need training, as it is mentioned in Rodriguez. Nowadays, we need to be updated all the time. Moreover, we would need to be, we need to have like more commitment, because it is easier to stay in the comfort zone, because obviously if in public schools I'm not required to teach or to use technology, nor to create these different kinds of learning nowadays, like blended or online, I wouldn't follow it. But if I am committed to my job, I would do it by myself, as in the case that I am suggesting. Definitely taking into account the 7 myths that Blake and Plowman talks about, not only parents but also teachers must be committed in that bringing up of children, and I consider that the only way to avoid those might become real problems for children, what we would have to do is to educate children in values, in ethics, as we studied in the previous module, because in the way that children know the importance of human beings over the technology, and in the way they have been taught in schedules, and the importance of social relationships, but human relationship, not only giving messages but getting involved in others' gaps or in others' interests or needs. So in that way, I consider that not any of the myths stated by these authors would be a problem, but in fact, in this way, children would use technology and could be, even since they are little kids, would could be guided into blended learning, just looking for the benefits and not to become like slaves, or just forgetting the childhood or the essence of human beings. Well, this is my reflection, what I found in the school where I actually work, and this is the previous view before having read, and my new view in a broader way, that it's not only to claim about others' fault, but also taking part of the solution of that problem. And obviously, in case of children, that it's the population I work with at this moment, I consider parents are I consider that they are the most important part in the children development, and guiding towards the use of technology, or involvement of them in blended learning. Thank you very much for your attention, and I would be eager to receive your comments. Thank you very much.